McDonald's once spent $300 million on a single burger. Not a restaurant chain, not a global expansion, one burger. They hired a world-class chef, shot a massive advertising campaign, plastered it across every television screen in America, and then, less than 2 years later, quietly removed it from every single menu without saying a word. No announcement, no explanation, just gone. $300 million vanished. And here's the strangest part, almost nobody remembers it happened. This is the story of the Arch Deluxe, the biggest product failure in fast food history, and the decision that cost McDonald's more than most countries spend on education in a year. To understand how a company this powerful made a mistake this expensive, you need to go back to 1994. McDonald's wasn't just a fast food chain, it was a machine. Over 15,000 locations, 70 countries, annual revenues are climbing past $8 billion. The Golden Arches were more globally recognized than the Christian cross, and that's not an exaggeration, that's from an actual study. Ray Kroc had started it all back in the 1950s, a milkshake machine salesman who saw a small burger stand in San Bernardino, California, and turned it into the most dominant food brand in human history. By the 1990s, what he built was essentially a fortress. Coca-Cola-level brand recognition, hundreds of millions of loyal customers, a franchise system that minted money. No competitor was anywhere close. Burger King, chasing them. Wendy's, chasing them. Everyone was chasing McDonald's. But inside the headquarters in Oak Brook, Illinois, executives were watching something that made them nervous. Their customers were getting older. The baby boomers, Americans born between 1946 and 1964, were now in their 30s and 40s. They had careers, they had money, and they were quietly drifting away from McDonald's, moving towards sit-down restaurants, better food, more adult experiences. McDonald's was watching billions of dollars in potential revenue walk out the door. So they came up with a plan to stop it. That plan would cost them $300 million. Here's the thing about McDonald's in the mid-1990s. They had every reason to believe they could pull this off. Their product track record was almost perfect. The Big Mac, launched in 1968, became a global icon. The Egg McMuffin, introduced in 1972, single-handedly created the fast food breakfast industry, a category now worth tens of billions of dollars annually. Even the McRib, a limited-time barbecue sandwich that sounds like a punchline, turned into a cultural phenomenon that generates massive sales every time it briefly returns. McDonald's knew how to build products that people bought, repeatedly, obsessively. By the mid-1990s, the U.S. fast food industry alone was generating over $100 billion a year, and McDonald's sat at the top of all of it. So when they decided to go after the adult market, when they decided to launch a premium burger aimed at working professionals and older customers with more to spend, they weren't guessing, they were executing. They brought in serious talent. Chef Andrew Salvaggio, formally trained, based in Chicago, a real culinary professional, not a food scientist, not a flavor technician, an actual chef. McDonald's handed him a mission: build the best burger this company has ever made, and Salvaggio delivered. The Arch Deluxe was not a cheap experiment. Quarter-pound beef patty, peppered bacon, leaf lettuce, thick-cut tomato, Spanish onion, all on a split-top potato flour bun, softer, denser, different from anything else McDonald's had ever served. But the real centerpiece was the sauce, a Dijon mustard and mayonnaise blend, complex, savory, specifically engineered to taste like something you'd find at a proper restaurant, not a fast food condiment, something different. And the research backed it up. Blind taste tests, focus groups, test markets in select cities across the country. Adults tried it, and they liked it. The data was encouraging, the feedback was positive. By every internal measurement, the product was ready. McDonald's set the national launch date, May 1996. Now all they needed was a marketing campaign. And this is where the $300 million story really begins. The campaign McDonald's built was unlike anything they had ever done. They partnered with Leo Burnett, one of the most respected advertising agencies in the world. They produced high-budget television commercials. They booked national airtime. They committed over $100 million just to advertising in the first year alone. And the creative concept they landed on? They showed children making disgusted faces at the Arch Deluxe, on purpose. The strategy was deliberate. Position the burger as too sophisticated for kids. Show families that this product exists in a different category, a grown-up category. The message was supposed to be, this is a burger for adults. On paper, it made sense. In practice, it created an immediate problem that $100 million in advertising could not solve. McDonald's restaurants are built for families. The seating, the layout, the decor, the play areas, the Happy Meal packaging, the entire physical experience of walking through those doors, every single element communicates one thing. This is a family restaurant. Adults looking for an upscale burger experience did not want to eat it next to a ball pit, no matter how good the Dijon sauce was. And at the same time, McDonald's was now running national ads that told their most loyal, most frequent customers, families with children, that this new product was not made for them. McDonald's was spending $300 million chasing customers who weren't interested, while sending a confusing message to the customers who were already showing up every single week. The numbers were about to reflect that. May 1996. The Arch Deluxe goes national. Price point, $2.09 to $2.49, depending on location. Noticeably more expensive than a Big Mac or a Quarter Pounder. The first few weeks looked fine. The advertising was everywhere. Foot traffic was up. People were curious, and curiosity drove trial numbers higher than expected. But then something happened. They didn't come back. Customers tried the Arch Deluxe once and returned to the Big Mac, returned to the Quarter Pounder, returned to what they had always ordered. Repeat purchase rates were weak, and in fast food, repeat purchases are everything. One-time curiosity doesn't keep a product alive. McDonald's responded by spending more, additional promotions, value meal bundles, expanded advertising. They pushed harder. Nothing moved. By 1997, McDonald's had gone quiet on Arch Deluxe sales data. No press releases, no public figures, no investor presentations highlighting its performance. In the fast food business, silence on a product's numbers means one thing. And McDonald's had bigger problems than just the Arch Deluxe. Same-store sales growth, the metric that measures how much individual locations are actually earning, was slowing across the entire chain. Burger King was running aggressive campaigns, Wendy's was expanding, and a new category of restaurant, fast casual chains like Panera Bread, was beginning to attract exactly the adult customers McDonald's had spent $300 million trying to win. The Arch Deluxe hadn't just failed to bring in new customers, it had failed while the competition quietly started eating McDonald's market share. Late 1997. McDonald's begins pulling the Arch Deluxe from menus. No press conference, no statement, no farewell campaign. The burger that had launched with the biggest marketing push in fast food history just started disappearing, location by location, quietly, without explanation. By 1998, it was gone entirely. The final cost, $300 million. Some analysts estimated higher. To put that number in perspective, in 1996, $300 million was enough to build and open approximately 300 new McDonald's locations. Instead, it paid for a burger that survived less than 2 years. McDonald's never issued a public write-down specifically for the Arch Deluxe. The losses were absorbed across the company's broader financials. But inside the company, it was understood as one of the most expensive product mistakes in their history. Chef Salvaggio, who had built something he genuinely believed in, walked away from the project. The Leo Burnett campaign was shelved. McDonald's moved on. But the $300 million was not coming back. McDonald's survived. They were too large, too profitable, and too deeply embedded in global culture to be threatened by a single product failure. But the Arch Deluxe left a mark. McDonald's quietly abandoned the upscale adult positioning strategy. No more premium pricing experiments. No more campaigns built around distancing the brand from families. They went back to what had always worked: value, speed, consistency, and the family experience they had built over 4 decades. In 2002, McDonald's launched the Dollar Menu, the complete opposite direction. No premium positioning, no adult targeting, pure affordability, accessible to everyone. It became one of the most successful promotions in the company's entire history. The Arch Deluxe became required reading in business and marketing programs around the world. A case study pulled out every semester to explain what happens when a company's research asks the right questions about a product and the wrong questions about the market. The adults in those 1996 focus groups liked the taste. That was real. That data was accurate. But McDonald's forgot to ask whether those adults would actually walk into a McDonald's to order it. They got the product right. They got the market wrong. And it cost them $300 million to find out the difference. The Arch Deluxe is gone. The lesson still being taught.